Before I start this video, I wanted to take a minute, tell you about some events coming to English Mountain Raceway. On March the 30th, we have a Cash Days event coming, and then on March the 31st, which is a Sunday, we have the King of the Mountain event coming. So, going to be a really good time. Going to be lots of fast cars, street cars, you know, and other cars there. So, if you want to compete, you might want to check into that. If even if you want to watch, guys, it'll be a good time for everybody. And I'm not going to, most likely I won't be able to attend Sunday. I do have to work that weekend, but I'm going to try to get up there Saturday at least for the Cash Days event, and just kind of hang out and maybe get some footage and make a video. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Now on to the video. It has been a while since I've made an update video on the DR Nova. I kind of explained in the last live feed, it's just, it's been kicking my ass, guys, but I actually, despite everything, have managed to get quite a bit done. I'm fixing to show you all that, and I do want to say, we are to the point within the next week or two, we should finally be firing this thing up for the first time. Now, before I actually cover the updates, I wanted to give a couple shout outs. First, I wanted to give a shout out to Josh Watson at at the Shipbox Nation Facebook page. He actually sent me some decals a while back. I actually put one of them on the Corvette. Yeah, so you can see this is what they look like. He actually has some new decals now. So if you want one of those decals, swing by the Shipbox Nation Facebook page there, and they can hook you up. And now on to the Nova. So I'm going to try to make this video kind of short, so I'm going to go ahead and get it uploaded because I have not uploaded in a while. But as you can see, I've got the intake on. The fuel system is all hooked up at this point. I was actually just out here finishing up the transmission lines. You can see I've got one ran here, and then I've got the other transmission line ran to right here. All I've got left to do is cut off this end and put an AN fitting on it, and the transmission lines are finished. I also got some paint on, this used to be chrome, guys, but our radiator support. So here in a few minutes, when I get finished with this video, I'm going to be going ahead, throwing the radiator back in, getting that all strapped down, getting the coolant hoses on, the fan, the belt. I mean, I'm going to get all this done tonight as soon as I get this video uploading, guys. So, let's see what else. So one of the other things that has been holding me up is the gauges. I actually posted about this on the Facebook group page, but I got the new gauges. Ray and I made this bezel to go in that is going to actually be coated in black. I wired everything up, made the harness, got everything wired into the plugs that Dustin sent us. So here's the deal, guys. I actually have a whole video coming on the process of, you know, hooking these gauges up, where to put all the sending units, hooking all that up. That video is incomplete because I am still waiting on the turn signals, the check engine light, and the bright light indicator to come in from China. So that video is almost completely finished, with the exception of waiting on those parts. Once they get here, we're going to drill holes in this to mount them, and then we're going to coat this entire thing with some flat black vinyl, so it'll kind of blend into the dash. Speaking of the dash, pretty much all the wiring is finished. I've only got just, I think I've got 3 wires left to pin into this. The only reason I haven't pinned these, this is actually my tack wire, and this is the power wire that I'm going to run a jumper to. You can check out my video on how to get your LS Swap tack working in the LS Swap tips and tricks playlist if you want to see what I'm talking about. But basically, I've got to jump in a resistor here going to the tack lead, but everything else is pinned into this new connector here, and we'll plug right into our new gauge set. Then as soon as that's plugged in, get our new gauge set in, and the only other wiring that I really have left to do is I need to run a fuel pump wire to the back of the car to power the fuel pump. And other than that, the wiring is pretty much done. Then underneath the car, we're pretty much finished under here too, guys. We got our G-Force cross member for the 4L80. I went in, put a new rear seal in the 4L80, and then yesterday I actually went and picked up a brand new drive shaft that we had custom made. Now, when I called Ray after I'd picked it up, I asked him because, you know, I kind of like the look of a raw steel drive shaft. So I asked Ray, I was like, hey, do you want me to paint this thing, or do you want me to just clear coat it so we can keep, you know, the natural steel look? And he said clear coat it. So when I got home after picking it up yesterday, that's what I did. I just wiped the whole thing down with some rubbing alcohol, get it good and clean, and I hit it with about 4 coats of engine paint, clear coat. So good looking drive shaft there. Hopefully it'll hold the power we're making. And then you go up here, you can see the transmission lines that I was just working on. So like I said, guys, we had an issue. I was not able to use the hard lines that we had originally planned to use for the transmission lines, like we did the fuel lines. And this guy up here is the reason why. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it was just too close. And the hard lines required me to use a series of adapters, and by the time I used them, I could not get the line screwed in. So we ended up changing plans and just going with some braided stainless lines for the transmission lines. But you can see they're all good back here. And what I did is I ran them right here, and I used a little hose clamp deal here, and there was actually a place on the side of this Holley oil pan where I could put a 10mm bolt through there. So that's bolted up. Then I just zip tied the lines together, so the one that's not bolted to the side of the pan is actually zip tied to the other. And hopefully you can see there, I can't really see what my camera's capturing, but you know, we've got plenty of room between the flywheel and the lines are solid. They're not going to go up or anything. And then down here, I'm just showing you guys how I routed these transmission lines. So then right here, I pulled a oil pan bolt out of the engine there, and I used another one of those clamps to hold the inner transmission line, and then I zip tied the other line to it. And then from there, it goes up under the radiator support, crosses over, and it's going to come up, and they'll screw right into the side of the radiator up there. I was also able to get the new, period correct battery tray mounted in here, and the battery is now in here solid. So that's all good to go. I've just got to kind of tie back the battery cables here, so they're not flopping around. And right here you can see where the transmission lines are coming up. This one's not attached yet. This one's actually already attached to a clamp underneath here. So this one is going to go right alongside of it. And again, I'll just zip tie them together right there and right here. They'll go on over underneath here, and then they'll come up right here. This guy's already fell through, but anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, like I said, all I've got to do at this point, I've already got engines full of oil. The transmission, as soon as I get the radiator in and get these lines hooked to it, I'll go ahead and fill the transmission up. And as soon as I get my power wire ran to the back for the fuel pump, then I can energize the fuel pump, check for leaks, and that's pretty much it, guys. Although one other thing I do have to do is, as usual, I'm starting with a truck intake, one of these $35 eBay truck intakes. And I have to adapt that here. So probably what's going to happen is it's going to come up and go down. The mass airflow will be right here, and then I'll have the filter on the other side of it. So the filter will just be coming like right through here. So that's the way the intake system's going to be. Filter's just going to be sitting right here between the engine and the battery pretty much. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm going to make a separate video on making the intake system there. I mean, it's a simple thing, but like I said, I'm just going to make a separate video for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it right now, guys. At this point, I'm just tying up loose ends. Ray's going to come over this weekend, and who knows? It's either going to be this weekend or the next weekend. We're going to get this thing fired up for the first time. Once it's fired up, we can make sure, you know, we don't have any leaks. Everything's doing what it should be doing. And at that point, I don't know if we're going to drive it open header or if we're going to load it on the trailer and take it to an exhaust shop and get new exhaust put on it. Okay, so for those of you who are a little more visual, I just realized I was standing there telling you guys what I was going to do, and I was like, well, shit, why don't I just go ahead and do it? So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stick the radiator in here. So I went ahead and threw the radiator and the shroud and everything back on, just so you could kind of see that. But anyway, guys, I know this is a short video, but I just wanted to give you a little update, let you know what's going on, and you know, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, this guy will actually be running, and hopefully not long after that, we'll be driving it. So stay tuned for that. I am going to do a couple videos. Something I've not done in a while is just some of the little basic LS Tech Tip videos to put in my LS Tech Tip playlist. So I'm probably going to do a couple small videos on that. Just trying to get motivated, guys. I had a lot of setbacks on this car over the last couple months, and that's the main reason I haven't made a lot of videos lately. Is I was getting really frustrated with the car, and I was getting frustrated with some other stuff too. But I'm going to try to break out of my rut and start uploading for you guys more regularly again. But anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. No fancy outros here. Just stick around, and we'll get some more done to this thing and hopefully get it on the road in the next couple weeks. So I kind of think maybe one of my biggest problems lately is literally all I've done is work on this car and you know, a few other things. I hadn't really gotten a chance to get out and have any fun. I mean, we've not been to the track in probably a couple months, so I'm hoping to see some of you guys out at English Mountain. Not this weekend, but the following weekend for the events I was talking about in the beginning of the video. And anyway, hopefully that'll put me in a little bit better mood, guys. So anyway, get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.